Welcome back to another episode of Pan's Picks. This is a show where I go through an NFL team's schedule and predict the probability in which I think they're going to win each game, week in and week out. At the end, I'll have a win total that I can compare with Vegas odds, as well as the win total that pencil historian Bill came up with. Bill, what was the best era of pencils?
I'd have to say the Ticonderoga. Those were, back when they really were flaky and chippy.
I see. And flakiness is a positive quality in a pencil.
It sharpens way quicker.
That's good. That's good. Sharpening speed. Okay. Now I know from the expert himself. And then let's hear from the expert. Which team are we doing today?
Today we have the Kansas City Chiefs, 12-5 last season, first in their division. Biggest news this offseason was Tyreek Hill moving over to the Dolphins. With that came a complete overhaul of the wide receiver room for Kansas City, with Mecole Hardman as the only returning player from last season's roster. Mahomes will now have Juju Schuster-Smith and Marquez Valdez-Scantling in the huddle, the hyphenated names. Will Kansas City and this new target trio have what it takes?
With Mahomes as a steady hand and Andy Reid, that's obviously a good bet. It's always good to bet on the Kansas City Chiefs as long as Reid and Mahomes are running the show. Another player that they lost as well that you didn't mention is Tyron Matthew. He, also known as the Honey Badger, can make big plays, but he's no longer on the defense, which was 27th last season. So maybe they've been able to upgrade, which will be a big thing, is their defense keeping up when we know their offense can score generally very well. But let's look at the schedule. Wow. Here we go. Without Tyreek Hill. And will a defense improve? Week 1 at Arizona. 50%. And I'm going to give it to Arizona to start the season. Bill, 50%. Week 1, Arizona or the Chiefs. Who you got?
I also have Arizona in that matchup with the 50-50.
Wow, that's exciting. That's a crazy start. Week 2, hosting the Chargers. My goodness. They're going to have a difficult schedule. 5th hardest schedule, being in the AFC West, and also playing the NFC West is not exactly helping these Kansas City Chiefs. Week 2, Chargers, 50-50. I'll give the at-home nod to the Chiefs. So I'm going to have the Chiefs in that one. Week 3 at Indianapolis. 50-50, but I'll still take the Chiefs. I think Indianapolis is going to give them a run for their money, especially at home. But the Chiefs will still reign supreme in that game, most likely. Week 4 at Tampa Bay. Super Bowl rematch and a hot pick.
Oh, pick.
Yes. Tell us why this Super Bowl rematch is a hot pick, Bill.
Week 4 at Tampa Bay. Kansas City is getting 2.5 points. Brady versus Mahomes. The series is now 3-2. Brady getting that go-ahead with the Super Bowl win 2 seasons ago. Will they see each other one more time this season? This could potentially be the last time that these generational QBs ever match up again. Mahomes has the youth, but the Kansas City defense is not great. Tom Brady is going to do what he can. He's going to put on a clinic as he always does in the fourth quarter. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady win by over 5 points.
Ooh. I'm willing to agree with you there. I say in Tampa, hot beginning of the season matchup. Physically hot, like literally hot, as well as, metaphorically hot and exciting the game would be. I think the difference isn't between Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. I think the difference is between the defenses. So I'll give it a 50%, but I'm going to take the Buccaneers at home. I think that's more important there. Week 5, hosting the Raiders. 50%. Oh man, this is a very strong 50%. I'm going to go with the Chiefs at home. against the Raiders. There's definitely some thoughts of a 25% on this, but no, change it. I'm going 75%. I think that they're going to beat the Raiders. They absolutely decimated them last year. Let's go to 75%. Week 6, hosting Buffalo. Buffalo beat them in the regular season. Obviously, the last time these teams played was possibly one of the greatest games, if not the greatest game by quarterbacks in NFL history. And a heartbreaker for Bills fans, including myself. One of the most depressing games to watch in my life. But it was an amazing game if I can think about it objectively. Week 6 in Kansas City, 50-50. And just like the coin toss, to win in overtime, it's going to stay a 50-50. I have no idea who to pick in this game, but I guess I'll go with the Bills as a Bills fan. But total 50-50. No idea. Bill, do the Bills get revenge in Kansas City?
I would say that they do in this one. The Kansas City defense, I just don't think we'll be able to stop them this year.
The Bills most certainly do have a better roster. I would say they're giving up a little bit on coach, at least offensive coordinator, offensive coach quality. I think Andy Reid is a better coach than McDermott, and Mahomes and Allen at best being a wash, the Bills defense is going to be far superior to the Kansas City defense. Week 7 at San Francisco. 50%. And a win for the Chiefs. I'm going to give a win for the Chiefs on that one. Week 8 bye. Week 9 hosting Tennessee. I'm going to give them a 75%. I think the Chiefs are going to beat them pretty handily. They're a better team, better coached, better. I know the Tennessee Titans definitely have a better defense, but I just don't think they'll be able to keep up with what the Chiefs are, with what the Chiefs have. Week 10 hosting Jacksonville, 100%, and we can just move on past that. Week 11 at Chargers, 50%. I'm going to take Herbert at home. Bill, 50% Herbert at home or Mahomes on the road?
I think this one's closer than that Buffalo one with the 50-50. I also had 50-50. I think these two are evenly matched up. A little bit weaker of an offense for the Chargers to match up with a little bit stronger against the stronger offense. I think in this one, it's going to be the ground game that gets it done, and I will give that to the Chargers.
Ooh, very good. Week 12, hosting the Rams. Possible Super Bowl. I know we talked about Tampa Bay being a possible Super Bowl. This could be a possible Super Bowl. Let's go with 50-50, and they are hosting the Rams, so I'll just give it to the home team. Week 13, the Chiefs go into Cincinnati.
Hot pick.
That's right, it is a hot pick. Bill, I know why it's a hot pick. You know why it's a hot pick, but tell everyone else why it's a hot pick.
Week 13 at Cincinnati. The line is currently even. John Elway, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Roethlisberger. Is this part of the next QB rivalry that is shaping up between Mahomes, Burrow, and Allen?
Ooh.
Burrow got the better of KC twice last season. He's going for his third straight win against Mahomes. Yes, they will do it. They have the better defense, and they are at home.
Ouch. All right. I am going to go against you. I think the Chiefs are going to be on fire. They're going to be hot coming into this game. They're going to be emotionally hot. It's going to be the revenge game they wanted, and they're going to succeed. We're going to give this a 50-50. I think Kansas City embarrasses the Bengals in their own stadium like the Bengals did to the Chiefs last February or January or whenever that exactly was. January. Week 14 at Denver. 50%. I mean, my goodness. 50%. But I think I'll take the Broncos in this one. I think Russell Wilson and all of them, they're going to be humming. They're going to take them out. Week 15 at Houston, 100%. Chiefs are going to go on a roll with these next couple games. Week 15, 100%. Week 16, hosting Seattle, 100%. Keep the ball rolling. Week 17, hosting Denver, 50%. And I'm going to give the nod to the Chiefs in that one as well. Week 18 at Las Vegas. I think they're both going to be fighting for hierarchies in the division. They're both going to be fighting for a place in the playoffs, where they want to be in the playoffs. And I'm going to give it actually a 75% with the Chiefs, because I think the Chiefs are the more prepared, more experienced team, and they will take the game in that way. I don't think the Raiders can pull off another crazy Week 18 almost tie field goal at the last moment of overtime win. Okay, let's see it. Calculating, uploading my picks, Bill's picks, Vegas odds. What do we come up with? All right. Bill's a little lower. I'm a little higher. Vegas a little in the middle. Yeah. Once again, another team with fifth strength of schedule. Obviously a very good team led by a good coach, good quarterback. Losing a couple pieces, so there's a couple questions. The defense is not great last year, but I believe they got their they started to get their feet underneath them as the season went on. Last year started off absolutely horrendous, but then kind of brought it together in the latter half of the season, so maybe they can keep that going. But once again, a nasty gauntlet playing the NFC East or AFC West and NFC West, but then also have to play the number one seeds or number one finishers in the other AFC divisions, which include Cincinnati and Buffalo, and those are harder games for them. So, and then also the number one finisher in the NFC South, which is Tampa Bay. So that's a lot of very good quarterbacks, very good teams that are all probably 10 to 12 win teams. They just play so many. I mean, from last season, how many 9+ win teams do they play? Is Arizona, Chargers, Indianapolis was 9, Tampa Bay, Las Vegas, Buffalo, San Francisco, Tennessee, Chargers again, Rams, Cincinnati. Man, it'd be easier to count the teams that they don't play that had won at least 9 games. Was it Jacksonville, Houston, Seattle, and Denver twice? And that Denver team, by the way, got Russell Wilson. So you can only say there are 3 bad teams that they actually play, because a lot of these teams are probably not going to take a step back. The Raiders got better. Tennessee might be the only team you could say who would possibly have gotten worse coming out from last season. And all these other teams are still just very good. And then Denver, that they played twice, they've become massively better. So very difficult schedule. I think the team's too steady, though. You know, players like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning went through a lot of ups and downs with their receivers. You know, they lose players like Marvin Harrison, but then still win 12 games the next season, still Super Bowl contenders. You lose good players like Teddy Bruschi and even Randy Moss, and the Patriots still making the playoffs, still going to Super Bowls, as they lost a lot of their good players through the years. And I think the coach-quarterback situation in Kansas City is similar. So you can lose some players, even great ones like Tyreek Hill, but you still have Andy Reid as your head coach, one of the best head coaches all time, and you still have Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks at least through the first few years of his career of all time. You can't turn it. I mean, there's no way that they're not going to win 10 games just with that steady core that they have there. Also, still having Travis Kelce, who is arguably the best tight end in football. Even with the difficult division, I don't think you can reasonably take the odds under unless you think that unless you think that Patrick Mahomes will get injured, you might be able to go with the odds over if they, I don't know. I wouldn't go with the odds over either. There's too many good teams. They could drop too many splits. There's too many splits in this season. They could easily lose to Tampa Bay and Buffalo and Denver once. I mean, they could easily split their division. I have them kind of going 4-2 because I think their experience will hold them off against the Raiders, or maybe they'll be able to take an extra one against Denver or Los Angeles Chargers. But, Bill, where's your missing 0.5 from me, and are we really in the same boat here, just slightly different?
Yeah, I had your 275. I had Tennessee and Vegas as 2.5s. I'm sorry, as 50s. And then I had Indy. I think that they're actually a better matchup against Indy, so I had that one as a 75.
Okay.
But regardless, this team, I think that's a net positive for that wide receiver locker room. Tyreek is definitely a freak, and he's so fast. He's hard to guard. Opens up Kelsey, but with Juju and MVS, I think that overall that's a good trade. That's a good thing for Mahomes to have one additional target out wide. But the biggest issue is that defense. I think regular season it's good. I already put money on them in FanDuel to win their division. I think they can still win their division, but this is not a championship team. The defense matters. It's going to be hard once they start playing those guys late in the season, in the winter, and I just don't think that they have enough talent on the defensive side of the ball to make it through their first round. Oh,
wow. Yeah, I agree too. Once they get to the point where they're facing the teams that have the similar quarterback ability and maybe even similar coach ability, that's when the defense starts to show up. I'll see that in Tampa Bay, and I'll see that in Buffalo, and maybe even Cincinnati as well. I know they did lose them, or definitely in the Rams. Like when they have a great coach, they have a great quarterback, but when you have to put them against Tom Brady, Tom Brady's a great quarterback too. It becomes more of a wash, or against Allen, and that becomes more of a wash in those games where when they play teams like the Raiders, it just feels like great quarterbacks find a way to win. So like the Raiders are good, Carr is good, the team's, they got a new coach, we'll see, and the roster's probably better, but I just think a team that is so much more stable, like the Chiefs, with just that, future Hall of Fame quarterback, future Hall of Fame coach, and future Hall of Fame tight end. Like those guys are just going to keep them steady. They can drop a game, but they're not going to make the mistakes down the stretch that these other teams could make. But then when it comes to the playoffs and they have to actually step into possibly into Buffalo in the winter in the divisional round, or in the AFC Championship, or even in the probably not. I wouldn't say in the first round, but definitely in the divisional round. Those games are going to be much scarier because you're going against a team that's been here with you for a couple of years and that has a defense that's just far superior. So your experience edge is much. I would still say it's greater, but it's not big. It's not huge like when you're playing against the Raiders or even Denver. Although they have Russell Wilson, you're going to be dealing with this new coach that hasn't had the same experience as Reed, and then the same thing with the Chargers, who Herbert hasn't even played a playoff game. So it seems like that they might be able to not sneak away, but just be able to ride that to victory, as opposed to against really good teams, which I do agree they won't make the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl. I just don't think that their defense can hack it, especially as the winter comes along. But why don't you let us know what you think? Maybe you think that the Chiefs train just keeps on rolling, and they're going to be in another AFC Championship. They're going to host another AFC Championship, as they've done it for 4 years in a row. And Andy Reid's going to extend his record of 5 straight AFC Championships in a row that he will play in. They'll make it the Super Bowl again. I don't know if that's a record that he played in 5 in a row, but it's definitely a record that he did it with 2 separate teams 4 in a row already. But he'll go 5 in a row, maybe go to the Super Bowl and possibly Super Bowl champions. Maybe think Patrick Mahomes is going to be even better. Tyreek Hill was more helped by Patrick Mahomes than Patrick Mahomes was helped by Tyreek Hill. It'll be interesting to find that out. So go through the schedule yourself. 0%, 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%. Each game, all the way through. Come up with your own win total. Compare it with us. Compare it with the Vegas odds. Maybe you come up with something, I feel really confident to bet the under. I feel really confident to bet the over for this. Go ahead. Let us know what you came up with. Let us know what games matter the most to you, what games you're excited about, what games you can't wait to watch, what games you think are, going to be surprises, upsets that you're expecting. And write it in the comments. Tell us what you think about our picks. Tell us what you think about your own picks. Tell us what you think about anything. And as always, make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.